Hi everyone, this is a video on how to resolve DM-verity in EIO mode issue. I myself encountered this problem after I perhaps installed some software that I shouldn't have. After my phone died and I charged it and tried to boot into Android, it just wouldn't. It got stuck into the bootloader. So I tried a lot of things like Flash tools, ADB, fastboot, and whatnot. Eventually, I stumbled upon some command lines and I used those, and that did work, along with some stock firmware that I had to download. So I'm going to discuss that in this video. I'm just going to assume that this works for any Android because my phone is this very rare phone. I had to put in a lot of effort to obtain it, so just had it go to waste because of some stupid thing was too much for me. I felt like, you know what, put in some effort and get it to work again, and it did. So I'm going to show you how to do it. First off, when I say command lines, I mean these are things you can enter in the terminal for your Linux machine, for your Mac, or the command line PowerShell for Windows. So either should work. When I say terminal, I might mean PowerShell also for Windows. So just keep that in mind. Now let's get started. First things you need are ADB and fastboot and a cord for your PC to your phone. And of course the stock image of your device. Like I said, you also need the stock ROM for your device, and preferably you should download this from the manufacturer's website. When you download it, make sure it contains these files because the command lines, they actually mention that fastboot should port them to your device. Check up on that and put those contents of the ROM within the folder of ADB and fastboot. That makes things a bit easier. We will get to that later on. Okay, so after you've downloaded your stock ROM, we're going to prepare your device to get flashed. So make sure it's connected to your PC, make sure you have ADB and fastboot installed, and just to make things a little bit easier, the contents of your ROM, put them in the same folder where you have ADB and fastboot. In Windows, you might see like adb.exe, fastboot.exe. Put them in there and makes your life a little bit easier. Now, your device should be in fastboot mode, and those might be indicated by the couple of states that you see on the right-hand side. Either of them is fastboot mode, but I think I had the latter one. Yeah, next thing is when you have your device in fastboot, we're gonna open a terminal, and you do this within the folder where you have your ADB and fastboot and your contents of your ROM. And what you can do is right-click within that window of your folder. In Linux, you will see that open in terminal, for instance. I reckon in Windows it will say PowerShell. So click on that and you will see the terminal or PowerShell pop up. The first thing we're going to do then is check if it's indeed connected in fastboot. So what you enter is fastboot devices. And it should return something like the serial number of your phone, and followed by fastboot or recovery, something to that nature. But if you get something like this, it most likely is in the correct state. Now, then we come with the series of command lines. Enter them one by one. I also put these command lines below the video. I reckon in Linux you can actually copy the entire list of these commands and paste them in one session, and I reckon that it will actually execute them one by one automatically. So what I did, however, is just to make sure that everything went appropriately, I put sudo in front of it anyway. Any Linux user knows what I'm talking about. You start with the first one, and you need to make sure that all these commands, they mention actually the file that they're going to port to your device. Those should be within the stock ROM. If all goes well, actually, in my case, even not everything went well. The last command actually returned an error, but still my device worked afterwards. So just put these into your terminal, make sure you have those files, and it will port them. And afterwards, your device should be up and running. And that's actually it. If this helps you, I'm glad that it is. And if you want to help me out in return for a bit, you already know the buttons to push.